Welcome to TJ and the Grumpy Old Man. I'm your host, TJ, and with me again, as always, we've got the Grumpy Old Man. They say there is no shame in his game because he is always the same.
That's me. And once again, we are here at 9 o'clock TJ time, which is about 20 after 9 for every other human on the East Coast. Thank you.
How are you today, Grumpy?
Oh, I'm fine. Thank you.
This podcast, number one, before we get started, because I'll get chewed out by Grumpy if I don't promote the podcast. Remember, guys, ladies and gentlemen, we go live every single Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. To make sure you don't miss out on any of the action, subscribe to us on YouTube, like on Facebook, and follow on Twitter. Grumpy, there is a lot to talk about sporting news-wise today.
Maybe you should say 8-ish and 9-ish.
8-ish and 9-ish? Is that, would that be more accurate for you?
Well, for you it is. For me, I'm ready to go at 8 o'clock on Sundays, 9 o'clock on Thursdays. I'm ready to go. I'm waiting for you. Usually I'm like, TJ, are you awake? Are you sleeping? What is it you're doing? It's 5 minutes to 9, and you're like,
I'm getting prepped for a fantastic show, Grumpy Old Man. And, right off the top here, huge news in soccer world, in the world of soccer, Grumpy Old Man. Cristiano Ronaldo looks to be all but headed to Manchester City, and you've got Kylian Mbappe finally going to his childhood dream of playing for Real Madrid. Man, oh man, you talk about this transfer window could be the craziest transfer window in the history of soccer and sporting world. You've got Messi leaving and joining PSG, leaving Barcelona. You have Kylian Mbappe leaving PSG and joining Real Madrid. And you've got Cristiano Ronaldo leaving Juventus and joining Manchester City. Holy crap.
Yeah. I mean, probably it's going to go down as the most legendary transfer period ever, I think, just for the talent of the players. Now, Messi and Ronaldo are on the downside for certain. Mbappe certainly still on the ascent, but you're just looking at names. I mean, Ronaldo, Messi, and Mbappe. But in the long run, which team do you think did the best? And which team do you think is better in the short run?
Oh, that is a tough question. I think
that's okay. I'll answer it for you.
I'll give you an answer because usually I let you always take the lead on it. Who, if we're looking at these three clubs who probably made not the best long term, maybe you'd say Real Madrid, only because Kylian Mbappe is so much younger, and they've been looking for the refresh button. This is not the Real Madrid of old, with your Marcelo, balling out, and Cristiano back, in the time periods when they were just striking fear in every team's heart. So they're kind of on the rebuild, I think. And you've got Vinicius out there on the wing. Benzema is signed long term, and now you're going to add Kylian Mbappe into the mix. I know the midfield has kind of drifted a little bit, as well as the back line. You lose Vron as well as Ramos this offseason. But Eder Militao coming in, they're trying to refresh. They're trying to hit the refresh button. In short term, holy crap, would we not be disappointed and robbed of fans of soccer if we don't see some sort of Manchester City PSG in the final? Because they're going to be fighting each other in a group stage, Grumpy. I'm not sure if you noticed, but the group stages came out this year for Champions League today, and it's going to be Manchester City and PSG are in the same exact group.
I, of course, am always prepared. Of course, I know that the draw came out today. I mean, maybe you're not prepared at 9 o'clock on a Thursday for the podcast, but most certainly I was prepared, and I have all this information right in my back pocket, front pocket, right in front of me. I'll address the two things. Long-term, Real Madrid makes out. Okay? Short-term, it's Man City. I think Man City is now the favorite to win Champions League this year. They came one step short last year. I just found it interesting that they weren't really interested in Cristiano. They were looking at Harry Kane. And I'm just like, okay, Pep Guardiola announced that he's going to leave after 2023. So that's like next year is going to be his last year, in essence. They're offering Cristiano a 2-year deal. if that's who would you rather have for the next year or two? Would it be Cristiano Ronaldo or that useless dog, Harry Kane? I mean, to me, Cristiano is one of the most clutch players ever. You need a big goal. You need and he rises to the occasion. He does. That was the one thing they were missing last year, was a world-class striker. Didn't have it. And to me, Harry Kane is not a world-class striker, but Cristiano is. I think that puts them over the top, without a doubt.
You talk about what they have, right? You've got an unbelievable playmaker in Kevin De Bruyne. You talk about what they have on the wings. You bring in Jack Grealish. You have Raheem Sterling. You've got unbelievable penetration coming from the wings. You're looking at the back line. Diaz, I believe, won best defender in Champions League last season. The team, it's stout. It's stacked. You've got Ederson in that. You add, you're right, the most clutch player in the history of the sport. That is a huge plus. And you're right. Think about what happened this week for Man City fans. Man, oh man, there was a lot that went on, Grumpy. You mentioned Pep Guardiola talking about, hey, he's going to be wanting to go ahead and test his hand in the international side of things. You talk about the deal for Kane falling through and Ronaldo coming through. And that, I mean, overnight almost, right? Look at this also. You've got Mendy, who's been charged, and he's been suspended from Man City at the moment. He was charged on 4 counts of rape and then 1 on sexual assault, where he had sent nude and lewd photos that are circulating on the internet. So it looks like Mendy, I'm sure, will not be participating for Man City for quite some time.
Yeah. Unfortunate. I think I don't think he's as good as his brother, but he's still pretty good. But it is a huge loss.
Benjamin Mendy is important. Oh man, how that it always shocks me when players do stuff like this. So rape and
I mean, I'll wait to see what plays out with these allegations. But it's bad luck any way you look at it, right? Not a good look. But what people don't realize is the element, the killer instinct that Cristiano Ronaldo brings to Man City, which I've always felt that they've lacked. Now, with PSG, I don't think Messi has that killer instinct, but Sergio Ramos certainly does. He's certainly on the backside of his career, could not stay on the field the last couple of years, but he has the killer instinct. I would say if Cristiano had gone to PSG, it makes them the favorite, because as good as Messi is, when it comes to Champions League, and that's all they care about, winning is Champions League, Cristiano is the man in Champions League. They lose Mbappe, who was the future of that team, and now it's like they're all or nothing. And it'll be interesting to see how it plays out, and it's going to definitely be must-watch TV, Man City against PSG, without a doubt.
For certain. And again, you're going to see.
Once again, Cristiano, Messi in the big moments, right? Real Madrid and Barca all those years. And now you're going to see it in Champions League. I mean, just great stuff.
And it was unfortunate, right? When Cristiano joined up with Juventus, they never really put the pieces around him in order to be successful. And, wasted. You talk about it, you could have wasted a few years off of his career. And
one player of the year, I think 2 times, led the league in scoring in 3, or maybe it was flip-flopped. He was still doing his job. Even last year, I think he won, the most goals for the year. And that's when he missed quite a bit of time with COVID. So, I mean, like I said, all time, to me, the greatest player I've ever seen.
I know it's going to upset some of those Leo fanboys, but hey, I don't disagree. You talk about the clutch gene. No man has it like him. Also, wanted to go ahead and bring up, did you happen to see, Grumpy Old Man, a little bit of the news regarding Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, what he commented on all of this going down with Cristiano? Did you happen to see that? Today he made a comment. He was less than thrilled that Cristiano wants to join Man City. Did you happen to see or hear his comments? They're pretty short, but it's a little soundbite. I'll let you listen to it, grumpy old man. Let me go ahead and press pause. I'll make this big screen so you can see it.
I know we're professional, but when you play for Man United, you don't go to Man City.
I'll let you comment on it, Grump.
Yeah, okay. Man City didn't want it. And Man United didn't want him. They didn't make an offer for him. So what? He should not go to Man City because he played there, 12, 13 years ago? I'm sorry.
You know what you should be saying, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? You should be saying, thank you, Cristiano Ronaldo, for bringing us our last Champions League. I know now you're going to Man City, the greatest of all time, or a guy who's up in contention for the greatest of all time. You just want to win. You want to be put on the best chance to win. You see Messi trying to elevate his status with another Champions League. He joins up with the superstar squad. You're seeing that Man City has a gaping hole at striker after Sergio Aguero left. And what are you, Cristiano? One of the greatest strikers and one of the best at putting the ball in the net. You go to the team. I'm sorry. Hey, I don't know what you got to tell. You won Man United Champions League.
In wrestling terms, it's the ultimate heel move, though, right? You play for Man United, you're a hero there. Then you turn your back on them and go to their most hated rival. It's great stuff. But I look at it this way. You look at Messi, I think he has something to prove away from Barcelona.
Yes.
Because, you remember he came up, with Iniesta and
Xavi,
all of them, right? And they played together from their youth days. And I feel that's what made them as good as they were, that familiarity that they had as a team. And all of a sudden, he's got to go to a new, totally different circumstance. Still a great player, right? How is he going to mesh with everybody else? That we haven't seen yet, right? They play a certain style there. Where Cristiano has done it, EPL, La Liga, Italian League,
Serie A.
going back to EPL, right? Going back to EPL, right? And Man City, as good as they've been, and they have been really good, never been able to get over the hump and win a Champions League. What does it say for Cristiano's legacy if he winds up going there and they win a Champions League?
I think it speaks volumes. I really do, right? The teams, though, Man City and both PSG are unbelievably talented. Those are two teams that you expect just to dominate this year. It's going to be special to watch Cristiano on that Man City team. I mean, Cristiano is not what he used to be back in Real, but the team and the cast and crew is pretty damn talented and pretty special. I mean, this is a cast and crew that would probably compare close to what, those 2014 or 2015, 16, and 17 seasons looked like for Real Madrid. That also being said, Ronaldo hasn't played for Man United in over 10 years.
Okay. 2008-9 was his last year.
You're looking at like 12, 13 years since the last time he played for Man United, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has such a big issue with it. I'm sorry. The guy just wants to win. Sorry. He's already put you a Champions League.
Yeah, that's all he cares about. He's about silverware and wanting to win championships. He's obsessed with being known as the greatest player ever played. That's what separates him at 36 years old now. Think about it. Playing at the level he plays at 36, playing that demanding sport. How he's transitioned his game from a winger, who just run by people, tremendous dribbling skills, and then turns himself into the greatest striker in the world. I mean, you just don't see that, but it just shows how incredible he is. You see some of the headers. He's still an athletic marvel, how high he's able to get up.
36 years old.
And he is able to find space like nobody I've ever seen. When that ball, he just somehow finds the space and gets clean shots at net, headers, whatever he can do. He's fantastic, honestly. And why I always think he's better than Messi in the long run is because Messi can't do some of the things that Cristiano can do. He just can't do them.
I want to talk and move on a little bit to Kylian Mbappe. The price tag on him is going to be about 180 million euros. Holy crap, grumpy old man. Would be the largest transfer of all time. Not a shock, right? You talk about
No. That'll be the third largest. When Mbappe went from Monaco to PSG as second, and number one was Neymar going from Barca to PSG. That was the greatest. 223 million, I believe that was.
Yeah.
Mbappe was 180 million. So maybe this is on par with it. But since it's today's dollars as opposed to dollars 4 years ago, I consider that a greater value.
Okay. Long story short, Mbappe, it's going to be the largest. It's going to be the largest this offseason. That's for certain. Again, maybe not the largest of all time. It's going to be the largest this offseason for a guy that was going to be leaving, as a free transfer, and being able to negotiate in the winter time period. So, they're going to get good value for him. Man, oh man, Real Madrid had to give up quite a pretty penny, though, in order to bring Mbappe in.
Yeah, but that was all part of their plan, right? They've been planning for this for the last 2-3 years, right? They've been clearing the deck. They haven't been signing anybody. They signed Eden Hazard when Cristiano left. It was a reactionary move because Cristiano left to go to Juventus. And it was kind of like the New York Islanders when they signed Andrew Ladd after losing Kyle Okposo and Franz Nielsen. A total reactionary move because you're in panic mode. Hazard, so far, he's been able to play 2 games without injury, but that's the first time in 3 years that he's been able to walk off the field at the end of a match, these last 2. For me, I'll be interested in seeing how they line up, right? What does it do for the younger guys? The Vinicius, who's just started to show up a little bit. How is he going to react having to go on the bench? Because you're not paying $180 million to Mbappe to make him an alternate. So who sits out, right? And like I said, Real's been preparing for this. Their next move is going to be the offseason, going after Haaland from Borussia Dortmund, and maybe after Paul Pogba, who's going to be a free transfer. And you say, why did they do it? Why did they do it now when they could have got him as a free transfer next year? They could have negotiated in January. When time goes on, things can change. That's why you do it. They have the money. I know everybody's saying, oh, they're broke because of COVID. They've been clearing the decks the last couple of years, not signing anybody, offloading everyone. And you see Varane leaves for $55 million. Odegaard leaves for $35-40 million. All these other guys going out on loan. They have a whole bunch of guys coming off the books next year. Bale, Isco, and the likes. So, I just think this is the transition from the Cristiano years to the Mbappe years.
Yeah, and again, they are going to try to go after Haaland this offseason. What would be the icing on the cake if Haaland was moved somehow this year? Robert Lewandowski, but not going to happen. Man, oh man, though, right? You think about Cristiano, he's teaming up with good old Pep Guardiola, old, coach of Messi too, right?
Nemesis. No, he was Barca's coach. They were always going against one another.
I said Ronaldo teaming up with the old manager and the old coach for Barcelona and Leo Messi.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry.
Yeah, Grumpy. But adds a little bit of an extra, a little bit of extra drama to it, right? And I'll tell you, those games for Man City and Man United and the EPL play are going to be, you want to talk about, they're going to be a little bit of extra hatred out there on the pitch. And you got Bruno Fernandes. I'm sure he's a little upset. He found his way on the bench when he tried to do a little too much for Portugal in Euros. So you wonder if he's carrying a chip on his shoulder too for Man United. You're going to see those games are going to be fierce. They're going to be bloodbaths out there on the pitch.
Man City's the favorite to win it all this year. I'm sorry. They were right there. They were right at the precipice. This puts them over the top, I feel. PSG always finds ways to lose as well, but they got, Messi, not Mr. Clutch, and Man City got Ronaldo.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't disagree. I think now that, they're bringing in Ronaldo, they are the favorites to win and repeat for the EPL. Eli saying, if only the soccer world was as stable as the Islanders offseason.
Yeah, then no one would have anything to talk about for months and months on end. All we would wind up talking about is how TJ's late for every podcast, how the grumpy old man has to carry TJ through every single show, those type of things.
Alexander says, if Mbappe comes to the MLS, I'd be ecstatic. No, there's no way.
No, that's okay.
Unless, 10, 20 years down the road.
Oh, I was going to say, you'd also be like 50 years old, Alexander. So, here's the thing. I look at your picture. I know you're not old like the grumpy old man. You look like a young man. So I'm going to say you're 50 when he comes.
Alexander also says, by the way, how you guys doing? Hope all is well. Thanks, Alexander. All is well over here.
Yes.
And Alexander also said, do you think Harry Kane is the equivalent of Josh Bailey?
You know what? Alexander knows me well because I was this close to throwing in the Harry Kane, Josh Bailey reference, but I didn't.
Oh, goodness gracious. I want to bring in a fun topic. You know how we bring some, and Alexander said, no, I'm old, 36.
Well, that would make Mbappe would be 36 if he came over when you were 50. So maybe. No, he'll probably still be there longer than that.
Yeah. And now I want to bring up a fun little topic, Grump. I know we talk about brawls in the stands. I know we talk about a few items. Now, do you know what the milk crate challenge is, Grumpy?
No, it sounds stupid. Is it a millennial thing?
I'm glad you asked. So now there's a milk crate challenge, and I'm going to show you. And the reason I'm showing this to you is because the Indianapolis Colts, their mascot, went ahead and nailed the milk carton or the milk crate challenge. And I'm going to show you what it looks like when the milk crate challenge goes awry. So this is something new and viral. People try to walk up a whole bunch of stacks of milk crates and see if they can get down the other end. And I'll let you look of how this successfully is. And I'll show you one not so successfully also, Grump.
Okay, let's see. 1, 2. I don't think this looks that hard. Maybe it gets a little wobbly.
Yeah, just wait, Grump. As you get higher and higher, it's you could see right here, right? You see his legs shaking. He's having to be very delicate and very careful as he walks up these. You see him.
Help. Yeah, it doesn't help him wearing that costume either.
Yeah, but okay. At the top, you're
a little wobbly.
7 milk crates high. Yeah, you're definitely a little wobbly. And you might think, oh, he's making it look easy. Trust me, it's not easy. I wonder how many takes that Blue, this mascot, had to do in order to get that correct. So was that Grump?
Yeah, I'm going to say much more difficult for him though in that outfit.
Yeah, I'm on downing that it's going to be a little more difficult for the average everyday Joe. It's a very difficult challenge in general. I want to show you a few milk cartons or milk crate challenges. Keep on wanting to call it the milk carton challenge. I want to show you a few milk crate challenges that did not go so well. So this is the one I think that went most viral for failing on Barstool Sports, Grumpy. And I'll let you take a look at this one. And the guy comes up. He is pretty confident he's going to nail this milk crate challenge. He starts taking up. Hey, he's bouncing right around. He looks pretty good.
Oh,
hold on. He got to the top. I mean, I'll be honest with you. He got to the top flawlessly. He got all the way to the top. He's, hey, I'm starting to show off a little bit.
Well, there you go. Here's the thing. He was a little bit too confident. That's what happens when you showboat a little bit.
Oh, man. He's getting to the top. Everything looks great.
Here he is. He tries to do a jump.
Oh, geez.
What a dope. Boom.
Oh,
now, okay.
Honestly, he's lucky he didn't break his neck.
That's all right. He's tough. You know what? I'm going to bet he's a wide receiver. That's a wide receiver move right there.
Oh, goodness gracious. Wide receiver, defensive back, always talking shit. But, man, oh, man, I'll be honest. So that one didn't end all that well, Grumpy Old Man. That is for certain. And I've got another one. Now, you know how people do crazy things, for gender reveals? They always happen to have, something special for a gender reveal. Some people cut a cake. Some people go ahead and, they'll smash certain items until they're able to find it. They'll eat cupcakes. Everybody has a little different way they'll do a gender reveal. Now, I never thought I'd ever see the day, but this is a gender reveal, Grumpy Old Man, with a milk crate challenge, believe it or not. And, man, oh man, I'll let you discern whether you think this one goes well or not.
Let's go. Okay.
But this is a milk crate challenge, and he's got the gender reveal for it. Oh my goodness, Grumpy! Now this one is not the 7 crates that we have seen in the past, but
it doesn't look like it's going to end well for him either. Boom! Oh my god! Well, I guess it's a boy though.
It is a boy, but here's my thing. You wonder, it's like the Tide Pod challenge where people are eating Tide Pods. I just don't see this ending well really for anyone. I'm shocked for Blue, the Colts mascot, it ended well. But man, oh man, this is one of those things where it's like, okay, I could be sent to the hospital because I'm gonna just wind up falling and maybe slamming my head on something. I want to get your take on this trend, the milk crate challenge, Grump.
It's dumb. I saw, when you mentioned it, and then I saw this. I did see something where some guy was doing it, and you had some kid kick out the center, and the kid goes flying out. I mean, what a douchey move. I mean, somebody get really hurt. Of course, you know who didn't think it was funny? The guy who face planted on the cement when that kid came and kicked out the middle. It was the middle one too, and down he went. It's just, you know, stupid. Gender reveals, stupid. They're all dumb.
Oh man, oh man.
I mean, a big party. I don't know.
Eli saying the milk crate challenge is the best thing since sliced bread.
I don't think that's true.
Here's the thing. As long as I'm not the one getting hurt, I'll kind of laugh and jeer at other people's misfortunes. As long as it's not too serious. I don't want to see anybody break a leg or snap a neck. But if they fall down, they get able to get back up. Okay, it's funny. Everybody gets a laugh out of it. TJ,
didn't you try to jump a garbage can one time?
I did. I went 2 for 3 on trash can jumps once. And
what happened on the third one?
I went ahead, and Grumpy knows this because I went ahead and cut up my head years ago. But, Grump and I, man, we've been podcasting together for 5+ years. But I'll tell you now, that was, everybody always forgets the 2 trash cans you jump successfully. The last one, you don't jump successfully. Everybody always brings that one up. But yeah, I went 2 for 3 on trash can jumps. I'll say, it wasn't as, I thought I had a chance to get the third one. What can I say, Grump?
You look like that kid who took the face plant on the bottom thing.
Not that bad. No.
And here's the thing, I don't believe you made the first. I never ever saw the 2 that you supposedly cleared. I know there was one there, and you missed it.
Okay. You never got to see any of the trash can jumps. All you got to see was the aftermath per se.
I saw a video. No, I think I saw a video how you crashed.
No, there was no video of that. Yeah. So Alexander also saying, sorry guys, I know this isn't the Never Say Die Islanders podcast, but I wanted to ask yesterday, but I never got around to asking. Okposo and Nielsen never leave. Do you guys never leave? Do you and they get Ladd? Do you think that they'd still get Lou and Barry next season? Also, would they have been better with the same 2017-18 season?
Wow. Okay. If they don't lose Okposo and Nielsen, they do not sign Ladd. That said, Okposo and Nielsen were both wildly overpaid. I feel we would still get Louis and Barry the next season. The reason being that was just bad. It was bad. That they get new ownership in there. They weren't going to keep the same cast of characters. It was not going to happen. And do I think they would have been better or about the same in 17-18? I think they probably would have been the same, maybe a little better. I mean, we were really successful that first year that Barry Trotz was there. I think we had 103 points. So, and Okposo could still play, and Nielsen could still play a little bit. Ladd was just a total bust. But I think we would have been a better overall team.
Yeah. I don't think we would have gotten Andrew Ladd. I think that's 100% accurate. And then you talk about, I think even after the reaction after John Tavares, I think they knew that John Tavares, after he left, they needed something big because they knew ahead of time that he was gone, just like everybody knew, right? His wife had taken a job in Toronto, as a nurse, so they had to know he was gone. That being said, that was the big offsetting piece. Hey, even though we're not going to bring John Tavares back, we're going to offset this by bringing in Lou Lamoriello and Barry Trotz, adding some validity to it. So I believe, we still would have gotten them because it was more of a John Tavares type of item. And Alexander said, oh my God, guys, I saw one where a kid broke his arm and also broke his ankle, turned sideways, reminded me, his ankle turned sideways, reminded me of my broken ankle. Yeah, so those are the ones I don't like to see. When people are coming out with broken limbs, as long as everybody's okay, I can watch and endure it, but I cannot watch someone snap something the wrong way after doing this milk carton challenge.
You know what? You want to know why you only see kids and mascots do that? It's because it's really stupid. Once you get, once the back of your head hardens a little bit and you start growing a brain, that's attached to your spinal column, you don't do dumb stuff like that. It's a kid thing. It's really stupid.
I want to start asking you. Now, do you know who Jake Paul is, Grumpy?
I've seen commercials on television recently. I guess he's a UFC fighter, but he used to be something else.
Okay. No. So Logan Paul was the one that was on. He fought Floyd Mayweather. It was Logan Paul, his brother. They're YouTubers and they podcast now. They do a lot of stuff. So honestly, I think they probably embody what is a social media influencer, or an influencer is probably the best way to describe them. So one of the brothers, Jake Paul, was getting a little mouthy on YouTube, and he was coming at Myles Garrett, the defensive tackle for the
Yes.
for the Cleveland Browns. Well, he said that he thinks Myles Garrett, because it got brought up I think on a podcast that he thought he could fight and beat up Myles Garrett, and then Myles Garrett said, "I beat the brakes off of Logan Paul, but I got bigger fish to fry." And then Jake Paul saying, "Stick to football, my friend. You saw what happened when Nate Robinson from the NBA tried to step into the ring." And, I love this, right? You talk about Nate Robinson. Nate Robinson is a little 5'9", 37-year-old, 180-pound guy. Myles Garrett, 6'4", 272 pounds, 25 years old, peak physical fitness. And I love how he's trying to liken Nate Robinson. Oh, yeah, we do. What happened to Nate Robinson if you stepped in the ring against Logan Paul?
Okay.
God.
Now, I'm telling you, you might want to look it up while I'm espousing here, but Jake Paul is doing a UFC fight.
They both fight. So Jake Paul beat, I believe, Erskine back earlier on, but it was like a knockout in a boxing. It was a boxing event. But Jake Paul, they both fight now. So they used to wrestle in high school. They're YouTube guys. Logan and Jake both fight. But I love this, right? You talk about.
So I just before you go, I just want to make sure. So this Jake Paul guy is having a fight, and he's an influencer.
Yes, so that's
okay.
What a lot of influencers are doing now. They're stepping into the ring and they're trying to, they milk it. It's a pay-per-view event, and they try to go ahead and get paid on. They can get a lot of money, but yeah, it usually doesn't go all that well for him.
I don't know who he's fighting, but I hope he gets the dog shit kicked out of him. I really do. I hope he gets destroyed. I don't know who's fighting him, but whoever it is, that's who I'm rooting for. An influencer. Maybe I should be an influencer.
Oh, Grumpy, I'm not sure you would last as an influencer. But yeah, they've got they're very boisterous is probably the best way to put it, and they happen to run their mouth a lot. They like having a lot of they got tattoos, they've got the bling, they've got the jewelry all over the place. They try to fit the mold of a social media influencer. But I love this, right? Hey, just stick to football, my friend. Man, oh man, Myles Garrett would absolutely annihilate any of those Jake Paul brothers. Man, oh man, the guy's he's a monster.
Well, okay, I'm not going to say that, because just because you're a big football player doesn't mean you can fight, TJ. Ronda Rousey, for instance, would destroy you if you ever got into a fight. So this little Paul fellow, one of these guys, I don't know how big they are, but if they've actually been throwing punches, I mean, now here's the thing: would I be rooting for Myles Garrett? He's a jerk, but I'd still root for him to shut up any of the Paul boys. Because I'm going to tell you what, they sound like they're the antithesis of what I like, right? Showboats, tattoos, chains, all this stuff with the Mr. T starter set that they wear. No. I'm not rooting for them. So, Myles Garrett, go get him, brother. Knock him out.
Go get him, brother. Well, here's the big thing, Grump. This is always what I've wondered. As long as you put him in, Myles Garrett, in, as long as you put him in the rink and he's got a helmet to wield, I'm not sure anybody's going to be able to go ahead and stop him right there. He's just going to go ahead and hit him like Mason Rudolph, like he slammed Mason Rudolph's head with that helmet.
Well, I don't think they let him use helmets or clubs or anything like that. I think they just have to throw punches. And you never know, he might fight like this, like some people we know.
Oh, Grumpy, I'm just going to tell you right there. Oh, good old.
He's a jerk too. I mean, they're all jerks.
If we're picking the lesser of two evils, though, I'm picking and siding with Myles Garrett. Yeah, the Paul brothers, not liked all that much. And Eli chiming in saying Jake Paul is a big shot idiot who only wins in rigged fights. And Paul and Alexander are saying the Paul brothers are a bunch of freaking clowns.
Yeah, I don't know who they are, and because I'm not influenced by them in any way, shape, or form. And that should be a lesson to you, boys and girls. Don't listen to morons.
Alexander also saying, I forgot which one of them fought Mayweather. Yeah, that's right. I think it was Logan. Logan Paul fought Mayweather. But it was another one of those fights where it's like, yeah, Mayweather didn't take it too serious and he just showed up. And, even though, let me put it like this.
Floyd needed the money.
Yeah.
I mean, right?
Yeah, but I think he got paid like $80 or $100 million to show up and fight an exhibition, a 3-round exhibition.
He's always broke. Mayweather's always broke. I mean, he's got to be well into his 40s now. Has to be.
Wanted to talk a few more items of football. Well, we do have a question first I want to get to before there's a few more items that we pulled up. Eli says, how do you guys think the NFC East goes? I'm expecting the Bills first, the Patriots second, the Dolphins third, and the Jets fourth.
Okay. You know what? I was all bullish on the Bills, and I still am, but they're having COVID issues on that team where some guys don't want to get it and they don't want to get the shot.
Talking about
Cole Beasley and another guy, McKenzie. And
Isaiah McKenzie. Yeah, they both got so that's been on the news this week. And they unhappy. Some players are unhappy about it.
I think they're one of the teams that has the highest unvaccinated percentage on the team. And you just wonder if that could derail a team, because I think Buffalo's really, really good.
And this is the AFC East, but as far as the AFC East goes.
Yeah. I'm still going to pick the Bills first. The Patriots and the Dolphins are going to be close. Neither team has a quarterback if Cam Newton starts for the Patriots, they're going to suck. I think they're improved, but he can't throw the ball anymore. And the Dolphins have that noodle army quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa. I think they could beat the Patriots, but once Mac Jones takes over, and I got to figure it's probably midway through the season, they'll be better than the Dolphins again. And the Jets, I think that the Wilson kid is the real deal. I just don't think they're ready yet to ascend from fourth place. I think the whole division is pretty much pointing upwards, all the teams, but I think Bills are head and shoulders the best. I consider them, barring, any crazy stuff, injuries, whatever, I would think that they have a legitimate shot to go to the Super Bowl this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, okay. Fair enough, Grumpy. I'll be interested to see how Josh Allen, if he's able to keep it up with, fans in the stands, possibly in hostile atmospheres. That's a big one for us this off. Nobody's talking about it, but hey, maybe we're completely wrong, but maybe we're on to something. I don't know.
Mitch Trubisky has been looking really good in training camp as well.
Did you give up on Mitch Trubisky? Goodbye.
It's amazing when you get a coach who knows what he's doing. That's all I'm going to say.
If I'm putting it in the AFC East, I'm probably going to Bill. I probably would go the same exact way on this. Now, the only thing I think that's holding the Dolphins back is Tua. What does the health look like? I'm not even the noodle arm. Do you really feel confident with his, injury riddled past that he's going to step in and be a guy who's able to be healthy for an entire season? You look at some of the hits some of these quarterbacks take, and I know they're trying to take, the physicality, don't hit the quarterback, don't wrap the quarterback too hard, don't breathe on the quarterback. They're trying to protect quarterbacks at all costs. In a 17-game regular season, I'm going to say the odds of him getting his bell rung once or twice is probably higher than not.
The thing that worries me about Tua Tagovailoa is he came out this week and he admitted that I didn't know the playbook last year. I'm astounded. Honestly, that is your career. You're drafted, number 5 overall, and you didn't even learn the playbook. It's not like Miami runs the most complex offense in the history of the NFL, and to admit that, it would worry me as a Dolphins fan. It would, Alexander. It would worry me as a Dolphins fan. I cannot believe he admitted that. Now, he was an ex-football player, TJ. What would it feel like if your quarterback came in and he said, "Yeah, I didn't bother to learn the playbook last year"?
Yeah, and I'll pull it up too. This is something that was going around that, hey, he did struggle with the playbook. Quarterbacks are the guys who have to know the playbooks, right? If we're talking about the guy who it's pertinent, they know the playbook. Certain positions, it's kind of easy to remember. Offensive line was always kind of easy. Running back was kind of easy. Wide receiver was kind of easy. There's a lot of positions that were easy out there. Tight ends, maybe not so much. Got to learn a whole bunch of footwork. The routes you have to run, the blocking schemes you have to run. So you kind of have to be a little bit, more gifted in remembering some of those type of, plays. Quarterbacks got to know everything. Got to know where every player's got to be. Got to know every single type of hot route. Quarterback has to know literally everything. But yes, I did see what you're talking about. That he did have trouble remembering the playbook. Didn't bother really studying the playbook last year. Yeah,
Astounding.
he didn't know the playbook too well as a rookie. But hey, as long as he knows it this year, that's all that really matters. But I'm not too.
Doesn't it speak to him as a profession, his level of professionalism? I mean, I realize he's still a kid, but my God, they just signed you to, a big money contract, and you didn't bother.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate. This guy's a really humble guy, absolutely humble, and I think he's very, very honest. So, the likelihood of players, their confidence level in the playbook, you can have some guys who have a 70% likelihood, maybe they know 70% of the playbook. You'd be shocked how many players know about 70% of everything. And maybe that was just the case. Quarterback comes in, knows about 70%. You would be shocked how many do and wouldn't say anything about it. I really think this could be a case of the guy just being extremely humble and just saying, hey, I only knew about 70% of the playbook. Or, I didn't know it all that well, but this year I have a much more confident, and I feel much more confident in the plays. So we can open up the playbook a little more. Do I think that's a possibility? Yeah, sure. He's a really humble guy. So that wouldn't shock me. Let's play devil's advocate, of course.
I've heard other things about him, which kind of would shoot that humble guy thing, totally destroy it. I'm not going to.
Are you saying he's not a humble guy?
Yeah, I heard he could be a jerk. Okay. So, but here's the thing. You're not talking about a wide receiver or a running back. You're talking about the quarterback, the face of the franchise. And for me, it's like you hear about the things with Mac Jones. He knows the playbook up and down. From Alabama, okay, same system. And he comes in, he realizes, okay, this is my livelihood now. The quarterback of all the players on the team should know the playbook. I'm just saying he should know the playbook.
Yeah. I'm gonna stick with the humble approach. Probably if I'm a gambling man, I'm thinking that's got more to do with it than anything else.
So if he's humble, he can be dumb.
No, I'm not saying he's dumb. I'm saying he knew more of the playbook than that comment captured. That's all I'm saying. You'd be shocked how many players don't know the playbook, would never make a comment like that. How many quarterbacks don't have a mastery of the playbook. Talk about Cam Newton, right? Cam Newton didn't know I'm sure they talked about it last year in New England. Will he know the whole playbook? Can he do this? Can he do that? They saw the offense was limited, the play calls they're throwing out there.
Thanks for proving my point.
Maybe he didn't know the playbook too. I'm just saying there's a lot more players out there that don't know the playbook or have, a little bit of, limited knowledge on the playbook when they enter a new system than you think.
Those guys don't win. Those guys don't win. If you have a quarterback who doesn't know the playbook, you're not winning. Hence, Cam Newton. Thanks for making my point for me. I mean, he's always been that type of guy when he was with Carolina. I can tell you that straight up. It was the Cam Newton show. That's all it was here. He was allowed to do anything he wanted.
And then Alexander's saying, and really, the Pats at number 2. All I got to say is he's laughing. He says the Dolphins are closer to the Bills than New England.
It's all about the quarterback. For me, it's all about the quarterback for the Dolphins.
And he also says Brady has a noodle arm, Grumpy. Tua is my quarterback.
I don't know. He led the league in deep throws last year and completions. That's all I know.
Also says, it's all good, guys. Keep sleeping on them and Tua. He said that, he said that in the offseason.
This offseason.
Yeah. And he said Chan Gailey was holding the kid back. How can you say that? And he also says there, he's not the only quarterback to ever say that. That's true.
Yeah, but I'm going to say winning quarterbacks don't say that.
And he also says, Tua was 6-3 as a starter with 11 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. How many of those games did Tua start and Fitzmagic had to come in?
Quite a few.
And finish the game off. I'm not saying it was heavily relied upon. But here's the thing, right? You're saying in 9 games that he started, he only threw for 11 touchdowns. That's not great.
No. Now, here's the thing, right? You think about it last offseason, right? You mentioned Cam Newton. Well, was the COVID year. He didn't learn the playbook. You want to know who did learn the playbook, who came from another team with no OTAs and no anything else? Tom freaking Brady. And what did he do? He won a Super Bowl with a brand new team. Went from 7-9 to Super Bowl champion. He had no idea. He you know what he did? He studied that playbook. He studied all year long. And by the end of the year, they were starting to click. They're going to be better this year than last year. Doesn't mean they're going to win Super Bowl, but they'll be a better team this year than last year.
Oh man, oh man. Eli saying Aaron Boone just got ejected after the ump called 2 strike threes on Judge and Gallo way off the plate. I don't know if you can find a clip, but it's worth it. I'll try to find it here.
Aaron freaking Boone. Ugh. I mean, talk about boy. Thank you, Anthony Rizzo, for saving my job because I'm a crappy manager, and we were on the way out, and you saved me. He should be down on his knees praying to Anthony Rizzo every single day.
Oh, buddy, I'm gonna let you know something, Grumpy. I don't know. I could just tell you based off the look of the the snapshot. This is in the 2nd inning, mind you. Let's see this here. Let's see if we can hear some of this. Wait, I was about to say that I don't want to hear people talking over it. Man, oh man, he's getting that ump's face. I cannot wait. I'm gonna try to go ahead and pull up. Holy shit. It's always good. It's always good when they go in the opposing, the opposite side of the batter's box, way off the plate, and they start drawing a line with their foot like that. Oh man, I can only imagine what they're saying.
Well, yeah, I'm going to bet there's some F-bombs getting thrown. Now, you realize you're not allowed to argue balls and strikes, right? It's automatic ejection. So I don't know if he's been ejected yet.
He was. I just said he was ejected after doing this.
Okay, now I don't know if he was ejected already after we're seeing this, or if the umpire's just letting him talk and then ejects him. But I mean, as soon as you argue a ball and strike, you're ejected. So I don't know when he was ejected before this. After this, I don't know.
If you wait, we'll see. So you don't have to. I want to go ahead and bring up. I just want to look at here, Giancarlo, right here, Giancarlo Stanton, and just see. I don't know what my reaction would be as a coach is going ballistic, losing his mind on an ump. But he seems pretty cool as a cucumber. I'll be honest with you. He doesn't really seem like he's got much reaction. Just kind of exist in there. Doesn't seem like he's reacting all that much.
Look at how all the Yankees are smiling. You want to know why? They've never seen Aaron Boone get his blood up. It's usually the assistant coach who have to have the balls on that team. That's why they're laughing at like.
As I say, you see the smirks and Aaron Judge just shaking his head like, God damn that ref.
And man, I tell you what,
you looking old as shit. Oh yeah, my God.
I mean, he's got a hairline like you, TJ.
Brett Gardner's looking old as hell. I'll tell you that much. But he is absolutely berserk. Yeah. So he must have been booted already before this, Grump, because I'm not seeing him being booted right now. So he was booted beforehand, and that's when he came out. He was arguing probably from the dugout, balls and strikes, and this is his reaction afterwards. Man, oh man!
I know exactly what I would say. If I'd say, get your head out of your ass. You can't miss calls like that over and over again. I get tossed. I used to love those managers, Billy Martin, Earl Weaver. You know what they did? They took the heat for the players on the team. When they go out there, it calmed the rest of the players down because they're going out there arguing for them. And you look at Giancarlo Stanton, he's just like, I never seen this before. Who's this guy? Who's wearing the New York Yankees? I mean, think about it. Why is he wearing a Yankee hoodie? What's up with that?
Why? Okay, here's another thing. Why the hell is he wearing a hoodie? We're in the middle of freaking summer.
And why isn't he wearing his uniform?
That is a good point. I don't know why the hell he's not. Some managers, I guess, don't do it.
What is this, rec ball? I mean, like I said, give me another reason to hate Aaron Boone.
It looks like a cutoff. Maybe he's just trying to pull the Belichick. It looks like he's got a cutoff on there, too.
Ugh, he ain't got nothing to show up. Well, neither does Belichick. But, I mean, come on. I'm sorry, Aaron Boone. You know, that home run you hit in the 12th inning was a long time ago.
I'm going to go ahead and pull up here the balls.
He hit that home run. I think. Well, no, I don't know the year, so I'm not going to comment.
Okay.
But I think it was the same year that Cristiano left Man City. That's how long ago that was.
So here were the strikes that were called. The fifth called strike that was inside on Aaron Judge.
That little inside here.
And then this was the one on Joey Gallo.
Well, he's calling the same pitch. So he's given that same outside pitch. So he's probably lining up outside the catcher's shoulder.
It was inside here. And then it was outside here.
Yeah, it's the same spot though.
Same spot, correct.
Same spot. So that's how he's going to call it that night. You know, it might be that's where the catcher's lined up, and he sits with his head behind that catcher. The catcher frames it. I mean, if it's totally different, more complaint. That's how he's going to call it the whole game. So
I'll tell you one thing. It always makes people have a case more and more for these electronic or these automatic umps to where you no longer actually have an ump.
The one thing I'll say about that is you think the games are long now. have an electronic on. That's all I'm going to say. The games are probably going to be, 27-22. They're going to go 7 hours long, and because you only have to hit from here to here.
You talk about that, right? Eli just said Giancarlo Stanton homered that next at bat, and then Gardner just homered too. So maybe it fired him up. Oh yeah,
well, maybe it scared Caprillion. Maybe it scared him out there in the mouth. Oh man, Aaron Boone's getting mad.
Alexander said, the manager I used to love watching argue and was absolutely laugh was Dallas Green, Lou Piniella, and Bobby V. I was laughing so hard. And he said also 2003 that Aaron Boone hit that home run off.
2003, okay. That was a long time ago. So it wasn't the year Cristiano won. That's when the Yankees won the World Series. But yeah, they don't have any managers. Like, they have no managers with balls anymore either. They just neutered them. Oh no, let's have these player-friendly managers. Can't talk mean to the players. Joe Girardi. We're going to bring in Aaron Boone. How's that worked out for you, Yankee fans? Not so good, and I'm a Yankees fan.
Well, I want to go ahead and go back a little bit to football here because we got the quarterback battles that have been this preseason. There's been a few of them. Now, I want to talk about the Broncos. I know Broncos aren't a huge name, but man, oh man, Teddy Bridgewater is named the starting quarterback for the Broncos. Yikes! You pissed away early. You pissed away that first round pick on Drew Lock. You just kind of think to yourself. I mean, he was hideous last year. There's no doubt about it. But
Drew Lock was a second round pick,
or I'm sorry, an early second round pick. Now you think about the state of disarray the Broncos are in. I mean, Teddy Bridgewater is what he is, not a great quarterback. Man, oh man, he's the starter for the Broncos. Yikes, the Broncos are in still for a tough, long rebuild.
They could have drafted Teddy Bridgewater. I mean, they could have drafted Trey Lance, correct?
I'll have to pull that up.
Didn't they have the third pick initially in the draft?
Maybe they did. I think they did. Grumpy, I'm gonna have to give me a second.
That's right. Yeah, take your time. Right. But what does it say? Does it say more about Teddy Bridgewater or about Drew Lock or about Broncos management? To me, the number one culprit is Broncos management. I don't know if it's still John Elway or not, but that was a colossal blunder. Drew Lock was not the answer this year. The fact that he couldn't beat out a washed-up, finished journeyman, Teddy Bridgewater, that says all you need to know about Drew Lock. But who was high on Drew Lock after last year? He was almost as bad as Cam Newton. And they were in a prime spot to get one of the top quarterbacks, and they decided to trade out. That's poor management. That's poor asset management. And
yeah. So they were 5-11 last year, Grumpy. So they had a chance. I'm not sure they had a chance to go ahead and draft Trey Lance. I think they
but they were picking in the top 10.
They could have drafted Justin Fields for certain.
Justin Fields, Mac Jones. They could have had either one of them, right? Instead, you got Teddy Bridgewater. And heroic story, Teddy Bridgewater, with the knee injury, almost lost his leg. But he's not a great quarterback. He never has been. He's a journeyman. To me, he's a perfect backup.
They had the 9th overall pick.
There you go. So they could have had Fields. They could have had Jones. Instead, they got Teddy Bridgewater and Drew Lock. Good job.
Yeah, yikes. I mean, if you had any thought that maybe Drew Lock was not the answer, this is not something that just dawned on you during preseason. They have probably thought about this for a while. This is a very, very deep quarterback draft. This is the draft of the quarterback. And, when that's available, you go ahead and pass up on it. Yikes. Not a good move by the Broncos. And now I'll let you listen to a little bit of a clip of Drew Lock. And you talk about a guy who, you talk about losing the starting job. This is his response. And I'll let you listen to the whole thing before we make any comments. But,
he looks a little Josh Bailey-like in that picture.
Honestly, a true professional. When I listened to this at first, I thought, why the hell is he smiling? He's happy. He explains it all. I'll let you listen, Grump.
I'll go ahead and just say something first. One, obviously, it's disappointing. Every feeling that you could possibly have at this point in this day and this circumstance, they're running deep. I feel like at the time I was playing some of the best football I've played since I've been in the league. I was more confident than I'd ever been, and most of you guys think of me as a confident guy, but I was probably more confident than I've been, since I've been in the league and this OTAs, this training camp, this preseason, and this, such a special team. I was, hoping and looking forward to being able to lead this team, but no finger pointing, no negativity. It's going to be about me finding ways to still, make this team great, whether that's, in practice, working with Teddy, trying to find ways for him to get better, whatever he needs me to do. That's pretty much my goal. Look in the mirror, see what I need to get better at, figure out what it is to, keep progressing, keep getting better, not taking any steps back, just keep taking steps forward without, taking some of the reps. So yeah, it was disappointing, but I'm going to do everything I can for this team, for Teddy, and, keep the momentum going forward as far as my play goes.
What kind of challenge was it today, Drew, after getting the news and then having to go through practice?
Yeah, I think it was tough. I think the toughest part was, getting it and then going to the team meeting and knowing it was going to be talked about. And that was probably the toughest part, but it's all right.
Is it more difficult knowing they said it was so close, it was razor thin? Just had to make a decision because of timing.
Yeah, that does, because when I was in there and we were talking, you obviously ask, what could I have done different? What do I need to keep working on? And though it was extremely close, it was the timing deal, and as nice as that is to hear it was that close, it's still tough, because you work at it, you want it so bad, and then it ends up not going in your favor. But you won't see me out here. I was thinking about, like, do I come out, smile around here, be my normal self? Because, all right, then they're going to think, shoot, he doesn't care about not having a starting job. But no, I'm going to be myself every day. I'm out here. I'm going to get better. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to bring energy to this practice, bring energy to this team, and just, keep being myself.
So I thought, now Grumpy, I want to get your take on it, because
I'd love to be Mystery Science Theater 3000 on those interviews, because I could be talking over that all day long. He started off good. It looked like he started crying at one point, and then I just couldn't get over. I'll do everything I can for Teddy. I need to get things to get better at. You couldn't beat out a quarterback with one leg who can't throw, who's a career backup. Maybe you should prepare yourself to be a career backup. Like I said, I just would have loved to talk over that, because there's so many things he said. You're not going to see me out here again. Well, that's for certain. Nobody talks to the backups.
Okay, here's the thing, because when I originally heard this, I thought to myself, man, oh man, he does seem way too happy and cheerful for just having lost his starting job. You want your quarterback, you want players to carry. I've always wanted a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. I'm not talking about being an asshole. I'm just talking about have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. And for this here, I'm happy he mentioned at the end, he's like, hey, I just wanted to continue to do exactly what I've done. I don't want to act like I've got malice towards it or anything like that. I did like that he threw that in the back, because the entire interview for the first some odd minutes, you're thinking, man, oh man, this guy, for just having lost his starting job, seemed way too happy. But it does make more sense that he says, I just want to be exactly who I am. I just want to get better. I thought he handled it like a true professional, Grump.
The only way he could have handled it better says, why didn't you get the job? Is because I suck, because I couldn't beat out Teddy Bridgewater, which means I need to be looking for another job selling insurance or whatever washed up ex-football players who don't get their degrees do.
Oh man, Grumpy. But yeah, he's got the starting job, and
he's not good enough. He's just not good enough.
In all likelihood, you're going to see Teddy Bridgewater and Drew Lock at some point in time. They're both going to be playing. They're both going to have starting chances. They're both going to have chances this year, because Teddy Bridgewater, sure as shit, is not a lock at quarterback. And even when Drew Lock goes in there, the likelihood of him sticking in there for more than a quarter or two, I don't think is very high either.
Bridgewater was at Carolina last year. He didn't last the season.
Think about it, right? He got injured, and PJ Walker was there. I mean, he was not the answer. They gave him away. They gave Teddy Bridgewater away.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get you to weigh in on that. And now there was another a quarterback. Speaking about quarterback decisions being made, another quarterback decision that was made recently. Jameis Winston is the starting quarterback of the New Orleans Saints, and he came out and played really well against, I think it was the Jaguars.
In Jacksonville. Pump the brakes. It's Jacksonville with College Cal as the coach. Come on. No.
It's funny, right? Because now I'm going to go ahead and show you a few comments. Now, he had LASIK eye surgery, and everybody's over here saying, "Oh, well, he's got LASIK eye surgery." Now all of a sudden, Jameis Winston, he's back, baby, the #1 overall pick, Jameis Winston, and all the pardon my take. Oh, there's my there's my wide receivers.
Okay, I can't believe I'm going to do it. I am going to stick up for Jameis Winston. The idiotic offense that Tampa Bay runs, and they still run, even with Brady. Brady was able to make it work. That bomb down the field stuff, when that's your offense, you're going to throw a lot of interceptions. When your whole offensive system is predicated on throwing the balls 25, 30 yards down the field, you're going to have more picks. Is Jameis Winston a great quarterback? No, he is not. Will he be better this year playing under Sean Payton? Absolutely he will. But he's still a turnover machine. It's Jacksonville under Urban freaking Meyer. You watch. He's not going to last a year. I told you that. What did I tell? How many weeks did I tell you?
I want you to stop. We're going to mention it. I don't want you to jump the gun. I don't want you to prematurely get onto a grump. But we're going to talk about Jackson. We're going to talk about Urban Meyer. Apparently, there are some players unhappy with the way preseason and unhappy the way Urban Meyer's coaching. We're going to talk about it.
Okay,
but
I just want to follow up on Taysom Hill, right? So he beats out Taysom Hill, who's basically a gadget player. That's what he is. If Jameis Winston didn't beat him out, he would be Drew Lock in New Orleans. You couldn't beat out a gadget player, which is what Taysom Hill is. And he's good at being a gadget player. I just don't think that he's an NFL quarterback.
Now, I want to get your take on what Emmanuel Acho says here, because I think you're right. Taysom Hill is not the answer at quarterback. I really don't think Jameis Winston is all that much the answer either. But Emmanuel Acho says Jameis Winston, 27-year-old Heisman-winning former #1 overall pick. He's one of only 8 quarterbacks in NFL history to throw for 5,000 yards in a season. People came up on Jameis way too early. I love how when he says that, threw for 5,000 yards that season. Well, how many interceptions did he throw that year? Was it like 35, 40 interceptions?
30 interceptions and 7 pick sixes. 7 pick sixes. 2 of them that cost him games. Think about that. The last play of the game. Think about that.
Oh my
7.
God.
I mean, sorry. Don't tell me he's blind. He's just not that good. Okay? He's dumb as well. Another dope at quarterback. Sean Payton will help him out. Without a doubt. He'll be better than last year. But you'll see the ugly in him will come out during the season. It's Jacksonville. It's freaking Jacksonville. And he threw a couple of balls really well. He did. But it's freaking Jacksonville.
I want to also, now that we're talking about Jacksonville, Travis Etienne out for the season. He's got to have foot surgery, early second round pick. The running back out for the season. Yikes, not great. And you're right. Jacksonville has, apparently there are some players who aren't so thrilled with Urban Meyer, Grumpy.
Why aren't they thrilled? Is it the college thing, the rah-rah thing, or whatever it is?
I'll read you the quotes. Now, this is a CBS Sports NFL analyst, Pete Prisco. He said on the show, or the show is what it's called. He said I'm sorry. He said that people are unhappy. A few players are unhappy. He's got to change a few things. He brought a bunch of college-like things to the program, which I don't necessarily agree with. Prisco said, a player said. And I've heard some players aren't thrilled with him either, including having a microphone on the field, one of the assistants on the field during practice with a boom mic, telling everybody to hydrate and hustle and get to the next period, he added.
Well, like I said, it's not college anymore. It's professional. Lou Holtz had the same things about him when he coached the Jets for 1 year. Went 3-11. That was the end of Lou Holtz. In the pros, most college coaches do not succeed in the pros. Why? Because they're used. They in college you don't have to delegate. It's all about the head man. Runs the show. He's got total power over every player with scholarships and every other thing. It's not like that in the pros. And like I said, this will be the first and last year for Urban Meyer.
Well, it's funny, right? Everybody brings up Urban Meyer, and they always kind of joke around that We think Urban Meyer may have, with his heart condition, it just conveniently happened to be timed. Were his heart conditions where he stepped away from the game, was that real? Because now he's back. He left for the heart condition. He came back. He left again. Then he's come back again. And people always are drawing the like of saying that maybe we're going to see Urban Meyer earlier on this season ready to fake another heart attack if things start going bad.
Yeah, because I'll tell you what, Jacksonville is going to SUUX or CK, whatever they're going to suck. They're abysmal. They are abysmal. You're drafting. Here's the thing. They needed a quarterback. Okay. I can't believe that they're starting Lawrence over Minshew to start the season. He's going to get beaten into a pulp. Their offensive line is abysmal. And they draft a running back in the second round, a freaking running back. And here's the thing. Is Etienne a great running back? No. He's more of a third down back as far as I'm concerned.
He's a serviceable all-purpose back.
Yeah.
He's not necessarily going to blow you away with his speed. He's not going to blow you away with his power. He's not going to blow you away with his vision. He's a guy who's serviceable, who can go ahead and get yards for you, and he can play on an NFL team.
But they have no offensive line. I think that guy sprained his own foot on the sideline because he saw, I'm not going to get any yards run behind this piece of garbage offensive line. TJ could have played on it. I mean, they're bad when that's the case. So he probably, got that Liz Frank injury, done for the year. No, they're going to be bad. Anybody who looks good against Jacksonville, let's take that with a grain of salt, please.
I was about to say, it's also a preseason game, and you're playing Jacksonville. That's what I was like. I'm not saying Jameis isn't. I think Jameis, he'll be more successful with the Saints than he was with the Broncos for certain. Again, I think you're 100% right on. When you're talking about Bruce Arians' system, that bombs down the field, where you're going to be, hey, we're trying to get 50, 60 yards every single pass. Not conducive usually for consistent success.
Now, everyone knows I'm a Brady honk, right? And I am, okay? But you look at the way they run their plays, their running plays. They have everyone on the line of scrimmage, no motion, everybody in a bunch formation. And you expect that to be successful? I mean, no motion on a running play ever? I mean, what do you expect your running backs to do? I don't understand. And then everything's the bomb. 3rd and 2. Let's throw a 40-yard pass. How about we just get the first down? Why don't we let the greatest quarterback of all time do what he's done his whole career, which is move the chains, and then you pick and choose when you go down the field. At the end of the year, he was more concerned about making sure Mike Evans had 1,000 yards rushing, 1,000 yards receiving, as opposed to winning a game. It was number one was him getting that 1,000 yards receiving. And what happens when he gets it? He gets hurt on the same play because we're going to force in the ball. Why do you even come out and say that, where another team can hear that? Yeah, we're going to get Mike Evans the ball. I'm like, what are you, stupid? I mean, he's a moron. Arians is a moron.
Eli also saying, talking about Drew Lock, he handled it professionally. I give him props for doing that. Having a guy who's upset with not playing can bring down the locker room. I think he's right. I do. I just think that Drew Lock's fun in the sun. His time of being a professional it's going to be short lived. He's going to be on the tail end. Also, Alexander said he needs to be on the bad lip reading segment.
I tell you what, I could have had so much fun with what he was saying.
I think Locke is actually not as bad as people think. Denver is holding him back.
I don't think he's that great. I just don't think he's that great.
And then also saying Taysom Hill sucks. That for certain he does.
Not in his role. Not when utilized properly as a gadget guy playing the tight end. He's very good in that role. He's not an NFL quarterback.
Alexander was saying Urban Meyer won't be there next season. I believe that 100%. Also said Jameis Winston has a lot of upside. I think he kind of is what he is. I mean, I'll be interested to see what he's like, under a different system. He also played for the miserable Buccaneers.
He'll be better with Sean Payton, no doubt about it.
Absolutely. I think he's got more weapons with Sean. I know you can argue, towards the tail end, he still had Godwin and Evans. So, he had weapons. But I'll say, I think under the system, with Michael Thomas, he's got, I think he's got a little bit better weapons, with Kamara also at running back for the Saints.
Yes. He's got a running back who can do everything.
Yeah. So you got a guy you can always check down to and everything of that nature. But
And everything's not going to be a 50-yard pass.
I want to talk to you now. There's 2 more items I want to share with you, grumpy old man. So Paul Pierce happened to make a comment about LeBron James. He said, and this
Watch out, Paul.
Paul Pierce said, if they don't win this year, it's going to be a big hit on LeBron's legacy. He's not top 5 all time if the Lakers don't win, let alone lose in the first round. No more GOAT talk anymore.
I think that's unfair. Do I think that LeBron is the greatest player ever? No, he defers too much in the big moment. He always has. But I still think he's very good. And just because you don't, well, maybe he could say that because, LeBron's practically the GM and the coach of the team. So that would be a failure on his part. But I mean, you have Anthony Davis there. Who else do they have? I think they picked somebody else up too in the offseason.
Yeah, grumpy old man. Yeah, the Lakers went ahead and added a few pieces this offseason again, which is he's upset last year that they were as miserable as they were. And this year they did go ahead and add pieces this offseason. I'm pulling them up. I can't remember. I think it was Damian Lillard, if I'm thinking about it.
Oh, well, that's a big pickup for them. I didn't know he went there.
Yeah, they made that trade this offseason.
Well, then I'm going to tell you what. Then
I'm sorry. It was. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Grum.
No, go ahead.
It was Russell Westbrook. I remember originally Damian Lillard was rumored to go there. It was Russell Westbrook. I'm sorry.
Ugh. I don't think he moves a needle anymore. He's a ball hog. He probably worked pretty good. To me, Anthony Davis is the team now. I mean, that's the way it should be. He's the youngest guy. He's a phenomenal athlete. Russell Westbrook.
You have been screwing up every name under the sun today, Grumpy. I
figured I'd be TJ. Russell Westbrook is past it, but he thinks he's not, and that makes him dangerous to have on a team. And LeBron,
did you say Russell Westbrook is past his peak?
Yes, I do think he's past his peak.
I said, how could you say that?
Because, he puts up points, but he shoots up, 40, 50 shots a game. You can't have a guy like that on your team. They're detrimental. LeBron will defer. And he's been a little bit nicked up. How old is he? 36, 37 now.
And you also talk being nicked up. Alexander said, Grumpy, you're talking about Anthony Street Clothes Davis.
Yeah, but he's still he's been hurt, but tell me he's not the best player on that team when healthy. That's all.
You gotta be healthy though. Hey, what does Bill Belichick say? The best ability is availability.
Well, somehow he still plays Cam Newton, who can't manage to stay on the field because of messing up COVID protocols over and over again. But he's still going to be the starter.
Yeah, well.
Over a kid who's outplayed him dramatically.
It's preseason. Let's bump the brakes a little bit. Let's see what happens in the regular season. Again, Cam Newton's not the answer there. Okay. If you're going to let me finish, I said Cam Newton's not the answer there. Mac Jones, maybe he could be long-term, but right now he's not necessarily a guy I feel all that confident is going to win a shit ton of games.
He's been way better. He's been way better than Cam Newton. Way better.
Preseason. I will say I do like I like the fact that Paul Pierce is trying to take stabs here at LeBron James. You want to know something funny? People, the internet gets to work when people make these flamboyant statements. And they say this. Oh, I'm sorry. I pulled up the wrong one, Grumpy. But, you talk about Paul Pierce's performances against LeBron James as he's making comments like this, saying he's not top 5 all time. These are just the performances and the points that LeBron James has put up against Paul Pierce during his playing time. You see 49 points, 2 times he put up 45 points against him, 43 points, 42 points, 5 times he put up 38 points against Paul Pierce, 2 times he put up 37 points, 8 times he put up 36 points, 5 times he put up 35 points and more. And you're just thinking to yourself, I'm like, oh, yeah, Paul Pierce, he seemed to have his way with you anytime he played you.
Okay, I can't speak to it because I don't know, but are we saying that Paul Pierce was the main defensive matchup in all those games? I don't know if he was. So I don't know who tweeted this. He just could have picked, what LeBron did against Boston in games and just blame Paul Pierce. I don't know, so I can't comment on it.
Yeah, I thought it was just a funny meme. I will tell you one thing. Paul Pierce is not known for his defensive prowess, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why he's throwing shade at LeBron.
Paul Pierce was not known for his defensive prowess. What do you mean you don't know?
I'm just saying, I just don't know why he's throwing shade at LeBron. There must be something else to it. I don't think it's the fact that he or whoever got lit up when he played him. There has to be something underlying. I just want to know how did he come to that? We like to post a little, oh, that fits nice, that little thing. But, what was it part of, the overreaching thing?
I think he started, I can't remember what it is. I thought maybe him and Rachel Nichols were doing something. I don't know. I saw something. But Paul Pierce, who knows? Who knows why he's going out there saying something like that?
I think Rachel Nichols has been jettisoned from ESPN.
I knew she had moved or she's got something going on. I haven't looked too much into it. But moving right along here, Grumpy Old Man, Alexander saying the Patriots have absolutely no receivers. What makes you think Mac Jones will be better than Cam? Well, they do have tight ends. They've got no receivers, but they do have some tight ends.
The tight ends have been injured, though,
Yes.
this preseason. Both Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith have both been injured, and they've been dropping a lot of balls. The reason why I say this is better is because they can't even run the offense with Cam Newton in there. When Cam Newton's in there, it's max protect. And he's check down Charlie. When Mac Jones is in there, they had the whole offense in. He's able to throw the ball to all parts of the field, inside the numbers, outside the numbers, short passes, long passes. When it's Cam Newton, they can't do that. Cam Newton's finished. He's absolutely finished. He was never a great quarterback. He was a really good football player and a fantastic athlete, but never a great quarterback.
Yeah, she was canceled apparently off her show after she had some Maria Taylor comments. No idea what she said, so won't comment on anything. But she was with Jimmy Butler. Okay, I can't keep up with who dates who and everything like that. Oh man, I tell you, there's so much.
Who said she was dating Jimmy Butler?
Alexander says she was with Jimmy Butler. I don't know.
You thought it was a thing with Paul Pierce and Rachel Nichols.
Yeah, I couldn't remember. I saw something. I couldn't remember exactly where she was tied. Do want to talk a little bit about the ACC, Big Ten, and Pac-12 alliance.
We are desperate. We are desperate. The SEC owns us. What can we do to save the day? They still don't know. We're going to get together. We don't know what we're going to do, but we got to stop the SEC. They don't know what they're doing.
I'll tell you one thing. College football is in a pretty rough area. That is for certain. And Alexander said when they were together in the bubble last year. Okay. Yeah, I think college football is in yikes area because, this is, it won't impact anything immediately because, for the next 3 years, there's a certain amount of games and certain games that are agreed to by like ESPN, by ABC, et cetera. There's certain games that are agreed to by, nationally syndicated areas to where if they wanted to go ahead and cancel these games or reschedule that, they'd have to get the clearance from the actual broadcasting company, which I don't think is going to happen. That being said, this is more meant, 3+ years down the road. It's going to be like, apparently I was listening to a few items on it, aka you do not schedule the SEC. There's going to be the certain games. They said beforehand, they said they wouldn't touch, any of the rivalry games. So like your South Carolinas against Clemson's, games like that would still be able to be played. But additional games from out of conference scheduling, SEC is not to be scheduled. At least that's the rumor.
Boy, that would hurt the SEC, wouldn't it? No.
I think it would. You said no.
No. I'm sorry, no. If you're not taking away the rivalry games, what games are you taking away? How many games outside of rivalry games does the ACC play the SEC?
I mean, it's all these conferences, all three of these conferences. The Big Ten and the Pac-12.
Yeah, how many games?
There are 48 games, I believe they said, over that 3-year time span that those three conferences are playing the SEC over the next 3 years. So ACC, Big Ten, and Pac-12 are going to play an SEC school 48 times over these next 3 years. So again, there are games that are going to impact. So if you're going from 48 over a 3-year time period, and they're being televised on ESPN, they're being televised on all these nationally syndicated areas. I'm not saying it's going to be a huge hit, but I mean you're looking at maybe like what are you looking at? Maybe like double-digit games every single year that you could have usually that you're scheduling with these three conferences that will no longer be available due to this alliance.
Yeah, I want to know who they're playing. Like I said, I haven't studied the schedule for the next 3 years, so I don't know. Okay, I'll be honest with you. But I just love their announcement, the future evolution of college athletics and scheduling. They don't say what it is because they don't know. Okay, they don't know. They're desperate. The SEC struck a first blow. Let me tell you something. What's to stop the SEC from going after Clemson? They used to be in the SEC, going back years and years ago. What's to stop them from snagging Miami or Florida State? That's all SEC territory. I hate to tell you.
Okay.
It's not ACC.
Because the money is going to be there with the alliance. They're trying to offset what the SEC did. Who knows? I'm telling you, honestly, I don't like the way the landscape is looking because everything's volatile. Everything might be changing, and I think it's bad. I think it's bad. Man, oh man, this is all. You know what this all kind of started with?
Tell me.
Image and likeness. Name, image, and likeness kicks off this, and now all of a sudden, hey, we see this. I want to make sure we can get paid. Texas and Oklahoma leave, and you're gonna. I just think you're gonna. It's the Wild West out there right now.
Think about the Big Eight. What do they call it? The Big 12 now? I don't know what they call it. Where Oklahoma used to be, or still is.
Yeah, the 12, Big 12.
Oklahoma State. Who's some of the other schools in it? You lost Oklahoma and Texas. They're the two biggest. They're the two.
Baylor, TCU.
Baylor, TCU. Please.
Kansas,
The two marquee programs are Oklahoma and Texas.
West Virginia's there too. There's a few schools are saying, hey, this looks like BYU could be a no-brainer, for Big 12 expansion. If there's one no-brainer, could be, BYU perhaps. Pac-12, they said originally before, the alliance came out, they're still questioning whether they're going to expand. They said they're not going to expand. They're not going to expand. I don't know what's going to happen, with the Big 12. Who the heck knows? I heard that, UCF might be on the move as well. I think it was, Grumpy. So, I mean,
It's ridiculous is what it is. Everything used to be regional. That's the way it should have been, regional. But money, of course, ruins everything, and that's what it's done with college athletics. Those are just facts.
Yep. It's unfortunate. It is unfortunate, and I just want to get some sort of stability going on there. That is for certain. Eli also saying Canada beat the United States in women's hockey world champions. We still made it to the next round because we won the rest of our group stage games.
Yeah, it never matters till the final game, which will be Canada against the U.S.
Master Lego to saying, hey, guys, I also see that it's TJ Tank Top Day.
Every day is TJ Tank Top Day. I'd like you to just try to treat this program with a little bit of professionalism. That's all I'm saying.
A little bit. I think the tank top is now it's the look on here for me, Grump.
Just stupid.
Oh, man. Well, hey, Grumpy, we covered a lot today. There was a lot of news. I cannot wait. By Sunday, we're going to have hopefully a more clear picture on some of these items. I cannot wait, Grumpy. Is there anything you want to say before we wrap things up?
Yes, I want to say love and laughter to everyone who listens and even those who don't, from TJ and the Grumpy Old Man.
And thank you, Grumpy Old Man, for being a part of the podcast as always. And I want to thank everybody who tuned in, listened to the live stream, and watched on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter. Remember, best way to support the channel, make sure you don't miss out on any of the content because we go live every single Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and every Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Is make sure you subscribe on YouTube, make sure you like on Facebook, make sure you follow on Twitter so you don't miss out on any of the action. And thank you so much for everybody who watched the live stream, participated, and watched the video there afterwards. Thank you, Grumpy Old Man, and we'll be back with you live this upcoming Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you.